today's reading, we are diving into messages about 2023 and whether or not you will get pregnant, what the energy is surrounding pregnancy messages, anything that comes up in the pile. Now, this can be manifesting in a lot of different ways, and also the piles, we go into depth, we dive a little deep, see what messages come through for you that you need to know as it relates to pregnancy. So if that all sounds good to you, then go ahead and give this video a big thumbs up and stick around. Hello celestial beings, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new. My name is Simone, and here on my channel I offer spiritual guidance to empower the celestial beings and heart-centered energy healing to help you align with your higher self. So if that is something that you might be interested in, please consider hitting that subscribe button and joining our family of celestial beings. Now, before we dive into these piles, I do want to mention that if you're interested in purchasing a more personalized reading from me, I always link to my website, celestesimone.com, in the description box below. Some of them are just basic general readings where you can kind of get the messages that you need to know right now. And then there are other readings where you can ask a more specific question. So you can find that link in the description box below if you want a reading that is more personalized to you, and if you want to treat yourself for the new year. So they can be about anything, including pregnancy. It's really just up to you what you would like that reading to be focused on, and that can help you get even more messages because these are very generalized readings. And with that said, I do want to go into my quick disclaimer where I just mentioned to use your discretion when choosing a pile and listening to these messages. Not only are they generalized, but energy can change. Nothing is set in stone. And when I do tap into pregnancy messages, these are not intended as any kind of medical advice. Instead, rather, I am going into the manifestation of pregnancies. So that is how I approach pregnancy readings and messages, as a manifestation that you are putting out there into the universe. And then the cards relay back to me kind of where you're at in that stage, or any kind of guidance that can be offered with the highest intention for your highest good. But with any reading, you know, especially with pregnancy readings, I recognize that these are sensitive topics, so please do use your own discretion. And if this topic maybe is a little bit more difficult to gain insights on, then I would suggest maybe moving on to a different reading. And I have many other readings linked down below and on my channel that you may align with more. I can't wait to dive into these readings, but first let's start with the piles. Pile number 1 has a Labradorite Moonstone. Pile number 2 is the clear quartz crystal. Pile number 3 is a rose quartz, and pile number 4 is the Chevron Amethyst. Now's your opportunity to take your time, pause the video if you need, and find out which pile or piles most resonate with you. Once you have on your pile or piles, you can head on down into the description box below where I've posted the timestamps for each one of these readings. Please keep in mind that these are general readings, so keep the messages that resonate with you and leave the rest. Those are most likely for somebody else who also chose that pile, but everything happens for a reason. So I recommend watching the reading all the way through to the end once you have chosen it, to receive the message or messages that drew you to that pile. I am super excited to dive into these readings, so I'm going to stop talking and let you pick your pile, and I will see you over at your reading. Hello celestial beings who chose pile number 1. I have your pile right here. This is the Labradorite Moonstone. So we're gonna set your crystal aside. All right, so for this reading, I just kept things really simple, and I didn't really put anything else kind of surrounding the cards. And I was curious what you guys think. Comment down below. Let me know if you prefer having some more, you know, like decor or other crystals and things like that, or if you prefer to just look at the cards, because I kind of go back and forth with that. I'd love your insights on that thought. But let's dive into your tarot cards. First, we have the Two of Swords in reverse, the Page of Pentacles, the Ace of Pentacles, Page of Swords in reverse, and the Ten of Cups. Okay. To me, this energy is pointing towards pregnancy. Now, I'm seeing to remind you too, you know, this is a reading for an entire year. So we are looking into the current energy to be expected. But of course this can change, and also again, like, it's hard to cover an entire year. So check back, do subscribe if you resonate with these readings and with my energy. I would love that. And also I will be doing monthly readings and continuing those, so that might be helpful too as you kind of go through the year of 2023. All right, so what I am seeing that immediately catches my eye is the Ten of Cups and the Ace of Pentacles along with the Page of Pentacles. This to me is giving me a vibe of pregnancy and a lot of growth, even monetary growth as well. This could be starting a new project, starting a new job even for some of you. But really what this represents to me is a fresh beginning of growth and things building upon themselves. With the Ten of Cups, really, this is pointing towards family. I mean, even in the images of the card itself, you can see the couple, you know, watching their children. This is emotional fulfillment and family connections and you know, deep love connections, relationships that are growing and deepening. So I do feel as though you are beginning your family. You are growing your family. I feel as though, and especially with it being a Ten of Cups, this is a positive outcome for your family. The Ace of Pentacles and Pentacles in general can point us back towards our body, our physical self. It is the earth energy, and it being the ace is a new beginning and a new start. To me, this is planting the seeds. And since this is relating to pregnancy, you know, this reading is all about pregnancy. To me, this is just pointing towards you beginning that process of growing your family. We have Page of Pentacles. This could be a masculine energy. This could be a son, a male child that is coming in. Now, we're seeing with the Two of Swords being in reverse and the Page of Swords is in reverse as well. I feel as though there's maybe even still some questions on your mind surrounding pregnancy, surrounding this situation. To me, it's almost as though it is a temporary lack of understanding or lack of information that is going to be resolved. And also that will not hold you back from making, you know, reaching your goals as it comes to growing a family. If you are somebody who's maybe single and wondering if you're going to connect with that person, I do feel that energy from this. I feel like you are going to meet that special someone who you could create a family with. That's the vibe I'm getting right away from these cards. I almost feel too as though this is like a process, and it may kind of happen slowly and integrate slowly into your life versus kind of all at once. For some of you, you've already met that person and are now kind of going into that next phase of starting a family. And I just feel like that is the vibe for this year. Okay, now I pulled some cards on the Swords energy in this reading, and we're seeing that suppressed is coming through. So there is, I mentioned there's some kind of lack of understanding or fully knowing, like fully feeling confident in something. The cards are wanting you to work and review that. Yeah, we have shadow work come through. So the cards are saying there's something pertaining to pregnancy that you would know, you would know this within yourself of like something you're either suppressing and needing to kind of reveal and dive into a little bit more in order to gain full confidence about it. And it's not something that is going to stop you or prevent you from having, getting pregnant, but there is a message here that's like, what are you still suppressing about pregnancy that you're needing to do a little more work on and diving deep? And it's saying in the year 2023, there's gonna be growth happening in this area. Mentioned even the growth of like planting the seed and building upon things. And this is coming through seeking. Now we're seeing growth through seeking. To me, when I look at seeking, this is spiritual seeking as well. Seeking answers within yourself and doing that shadow work. And I feel like there could even be some of you, group one, who have been doing that shadow work and going through that growth, revealing these suppressed parts, of ourselves in order to seek and find the light, reveal to us, you know, these inner truths to ourselves. I feel like if you haven't already felt that, you are on the precipice of this for 2023. And 2023 is going to be about growth. It is going to be about happy results as it pertains to your family. I do feel that, as well as it pertains to growing a family. Okay, let's keep going. We're going to pull a few more cards about pregnancy next year for group 1. We have look at the bigger picture. So there may be one aspect of this, or one, like, I'm almost getting the sense of like one specific thing that you're struggling with, that you're mentally kind of like wrestling with, and you're unclear about, or you're feeling kind of doubts about as it pertains to pregnancy next year. And when we see the look at the bigger picture, I feel like there's a lot of positives, or there's maybe like the big picture of everything is stability. And it's almost saying like, find comfort in those loving moments, or find comfort in the bigger picture in order to see these things from a new perspective, or seeing kind of like this very, I almost feel like it's just this very specific thing that is like on your mind, and you're kind of like wrestling through it. I do see this kind of being worked on, but setting that intention to go into it and to do the shadow work and to grow from it is going to bring in this new romantic cycle. So I mentioned for some of you, you know, finding that special person to start a family with, or for others too, this is a romantic cycle of finding balance and deepening interpersonal connections as well, through some of this shadow work that may be coming up even towards the end of the year. You know, maybe wintertime tends to be that energy of like going deep within and being more like being like self-reflective and diving deep with that. I feel like you may find yourself going through a phase like that coming into 2023 that is leading you ultimately towards this new romantic cycle. And by romantic cycle, this could be, you know, specifically a deep connection, but as it is a new moon in Libra, this can also specifically point to harmonizing, balancing, seeing life in a romantic way, you know, reigniting that like alignment with your own self and love for yourself. So there's something positive coming from a time period that you may be currently in, even as we're nearing the end of the year and into 2023. But I feel like you're actually getting past this hump. It's almost like a blockage or like a hump of some kind, you know, like a mental struggle that you're getting past and able to move beyond, like ultimately. Yeah, time to breathe out. I think there's an aspect of this where the cards are saying, hey, take a deep breath. Ultimately, this is not going to make or break a circumstance. I think that like you may be giving it more weight, and the cards want to kind of reassure you like, yes, there's a part of this that is bugging you beneath the surface, and it is time to breathe it out. It's time to release it. It's time to, you know, reveal what is being suppressed. And that could be through maybe talking to somebody you trust and love and revealing it that way, or journaling about it, getting it out on paper, talking to somebody who you feel like you can just like release this and get this out in the open, so you can just kind of like breathe it out and get it out in the open. And you may actually also find new insights because of this inner turmoil or this inner conflict that you're kind of struggling with. So ultimately, you're going to grow from this experience. And again, I don't really get the sense that it's going to hold you back from any kind of ultimate happiness or pregnancy moving forward. But it is, in some ways, this is connected because, again, we've set the intention. This reading is about pregnancy. So in some ways the cards are saying this is related, you know, this is maybe holding you back, or this is to some extent, or mentally you may feel like this is an issue. And so it's needing to resolve itself before pregnancy can happen. Okay. So let's keep going with some more oracle cards. And let me know in the comments below. Be sure to let me know which pile you chose, if it resonated with you. I would love to chat with you. Big picture. Again, we have the big picture. So this could even be a good like exercise or writing exercise, or just kind of like taking a step back, breathing out, and looking at the big picture. Are you being very hard on yourself about something? Are you, you know, maybe even punishing yourself or getting angry with yourself for like one specific thing, when really the bigger picture is that everything's great, like everything's fine, like you'll get through it. You've come so far, you have done so much. Maybe that's the worry of like, I didn't do enough, or I did the wrong things. But I'm being drawn to the rainbow here, and the rainbow here as well. And after the rain comes the rainbow, right? So to me, it's kind of saying once you release this, you're going to see the bigger picture. You're going to see the rainbow and find that peace, like find that recognition of like, okay, I did such a good job. You know, maybe it was the circumstances that I had to overcome, but I did it. And giving yourself that like credit and benefit of the doubt for having done a good job, you know, despite maybe something went wrong, or despite worrying about something going wrong, you know, overall, like things are good. Like things are, there's things to be grateful for, or there's things that you can see the silver lining in the situation, or see the rainbow, you know, in the storm. So yeah, I feel like that's becoming clearer for you in 2023. Okay, let's pull some more oracles. We have this one, leap of faith. So yeah, with the leap of faith, I feel there's maybe even some aspect of this where in order to get past this kind of mental turmoil, inner doubts, you're needing to kind of just like trust the process and just go with it for the time being, and just kind of be open to what comes next. You may be even knowing something that you would want to do, and knowing, I mean, maybe this is pregnancy. This is something maybe, you know, you will intuitively know is like maybe your own mental thought process surrounding it is what's holding you back, but in reality, like you're just needing to trust in your gut feeling. You're needing to trust in your intuition to just take that leap of faith and go for something. And even though, you know, even though it may feel like you can't get past a certain aspect of it. So I know, like, I feel like this could, you know, this could be so many different things for different people, but ultimately I feel like this message is needed in that, like, maybe you have this gut feeling like you should do XYZ, but your brain keeps telling you all these reasons why you shouldn't, and giving you all these fears. Take some time, breathe out, you know, just kind of let that go and listen to what your heart really wants, you know. And sometimes that does take a leap of faith, and it can be scary at first. And who knows, like maybe it doesn't work out 100% the way you wanted to, but at least you're not regretting not trying it and not gaining what you did gain and grow from by taking that leap of faith. Catch your breath. Oh my gosh, you guys, is this not, like, this is a little crazy. Like, we have big picture, breath, breathe out, catch your breath. That is so, like, oh my gosh, it never ceases to amaze me when this kind of thing happens. Because, like, what are the chances? There are no coincidences, that's the truth, right? Yeah, you know, that's confirmation here that this message is coming through as it needs to. Is like, just kind of catch your breath, take a moment, take a beat, figure out what is that leap of faith because that leap of faith is leading you to a new romantic cycle. That leap of faith of trusting yourself, trusting your higher intuitive self and like going for it. What do you have to lose? And that may be something that you do have to decide, like, what do I have to lose? Could I take this leap of faith? And if it doesn't work out 100%, you know, is that still okay? Versus like never trying it and always wondering too, you know? So you definitely like something you probably have to like weigh within yourself. But I'm just the messenger, so I'm just relaying what the cards are saying, are speaking. So maybe this kind of appears for you in different ways, but ultimately, you know for yourself what's going to be your highest good. So, okay, let's keep going with some oracle cards. We'll pull a few more of these. We need to know a little bit more. Any messages that I'm missing for group 1 for 2023? What else do they need to hear, to know? What am I missing? And I mentioned at the beginning of the video, but again, like you can, if you want a more personalized reading, I do offer tarot reading write-ups on my Etsy shop, and I link below to my website so you can see everything that I offer if you would like that. Okay, we have courage. Yeah, taking that big step is gonna take courage, and maybe this is this desire to get pregnant and wanting that, but being afraid to take that leap of faith. Totally understandable. And again, maybe there's some shadow work that's needed. Maybe there's some mental processing that is needed, or maybe you feel like you've exhausted that, you know, you've thought about it for so long and you're just like, oh, I just want to like do it, but like I keep getting that like pushback, and those fears are coming up again, you know, that maybe you need to just take a beat, take a breath. But eventually, to do this particular thing, it is going to take a leap of faith, you know, it is just going to take that, like, that trust, freedom. So, you know, part of this is a mental cage that we're creating for ourselves when it comes to doing what we really truly want. And I feel like the message for this group is wanting you to free yourself from the cage that could be, you know, our own fears that we all have, and yeah, and well-being. I think just to kind of connect back these, I think it's going to be important for your well-being, for your own physical health, to take this first step. Like, I feel as though, especially with the Ace of Pentacles, there's some action needing to be taken here. And it may feel at first like this action is so hard to do because you're questioning it every step of the way. And maybe some of you have already taken this action to free yourself, you know, from this feeling, this place of feeling stuck. And that takes so much courage. But ultimately, like, this is going to serve you. You know, this is going to begin a fresh start. It's going to begin to grow on its own and to kind of continue to build upon itself in a positive way. And I do feel like it is almost like your well-being is being affected by this whole experience. So it is important to take care of your health. So I also feel like, you know, when I think of breathing as well, I think of meditation and taking time in your sacred space, meditating on things, getting to the heart of the matter, which is shadow work. You know, what are the things that you don't want to face about this decision, but yet they're there and they're affecting you. You know, taking that time alone to focus on your breath, to meditate on these feelings and what's coming up surrounding it and why is going to be so important to this whole process, you know, of growth that you're experiencing right now. And the cards are acknowledging, you know, this takes a lot of courage to really like step outside our comfort zone and really acknowledge and kind of evaluate the big picture here. Okay, we're gonna finish up with some more oracle cards. Okay, we have partnership that flipped over, so I'm gonna go with that. And it says, learn to grow with others. Growth, that's a common theme here. We see overcome obstacles by working together, touch each other's hearts while life lasts. So I'm going to put this near Libra because the Libra energy is a lot about sociability and partnerships, interactions, being likable, balance and fairness, and also compassion and things like that between people. I feel as though there could be some aspect of this that is related to healing a partnership, getting on board with your partner, maybe about pregnancy, for example, working together, finding ways to open up to each other, that maybe it's a difficult conversation to have with a specific person, you know, and maybe that's what is really holding you back, or something, yeah, something to do with possibly reaching out to somebody and asking them, or even your partner, and planning for a pregnancy even, you know, maybe it's about being honest with someone close to you, and that takes a lot of courage to open up to them in that way. So I think there is growth in that. And I feel like there's a positive resolution by doing that. Okay. Rebirth. Oh, and flexibility too. Okay. We have, no matter what happens, you can find new wings, rise from the past, accept the positive change that is coming. So if we're talking about change or fears from the past repeating themselves and things like that, you know, getting past old shadows and patterns that we're working through, the key message here too is that you're putting it out there. You are doing the work, you are growing. And to me, there's a change happening because of this. So there's a rebirth that is happening through this difficult time. We talk about, like, after the rain, there's the rainbow, there's resolution to this. And there's also a cleansing that happens. And after a cleansing, we have changed, we're transformed, we've gone through a purification. So I feel like there is like a rising above happening here with about something maybe even from your past that still kind of lingers, that is kind of holding you back, or even kind of like determining a step forward for you. So part of this is also like kind of like embracing the change. We also have flexibility, gently flow through the turbulence. Life has the ability to shape you. Bend, don't break. So yeah, this is gonna require this go with the flow intention, and just putting it out there that these difficulties, you know, these storms that we're weathering, when we don't fight them, when we embrace them and we trust in the process, it's easier to go with the flow than trying to swim upstream. So this again is kind of like realigning with your breath, realigning with the flow of your life force, in order to, I mentioned too, like kind of coming up again for me is in the beginning of the room, we talked about maybe you're holding yourself to too much of a high standard, or you're being hard on yourself about something that either happened, or like trying to be perfect in some aspect. And that's why I kept kind of pointing back towards like the bigger picture and seeing the bigger picture, you know, like there's a bigger picture to this that is actually very positive, and there's a lot to be proud of with yourself. And I think this is coming back again to flexibility and breathing out and your well-being, and giving yourself that, you know, priority to allow yourself to not have to fight upstream, you know, to kind of let go in some ways, to take that leap of faith, which is surrendering, right? Like surrendering to the flow of life. So I feel as though there's some spiritual messages that come through. I mean, whenever I see shadow work, that's a spiritual practice. That is a spiritual, you know, spiritual growth has come up as well in this reading. So I do feel like there are some spiritual messages as like relating to pregnancy for you in 2023. I know these are kind of broader messages. If you want to hone into on, you know, more specific questions, you can always purchase a reading from me if that aligns with you, resonates with you. But otherwise, that's going to do it for this reading group 1. Thank you so much for joining me. I will link below to even more playlists, so you can use your intuition to pick even more piles and gain even more messages for yourself as well. I have them for the next 30 days, and I'll also link above to one of those readings so you can see kind of what's up for the next 30 days. Otherwise, subscribe and you will also be able to receive messages monthly throughout 2023 from me. And if you're already subscribed, thank you so much for joining the family. But yeah, like I will be doing these every month. So if you want more detailed messages other than just the entire year, you can check those out on a monthly basis here on my channel. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. That really helps my channel out. I appreciate it so much. Comment down below and just, yeah, let me know. What did this resonate with you, or was this helpful for you? I would love to chat with you in the comments below. That's gonna do it for this reading. I will see you again soon, but bye for now. Hello, celestial beings who chose pile number 2. I have your pile here with the clear quartz crystal. So I'm gonna set it aside so we can dive into your tarot cards. And I was asking group 1, you know, what you think about like a more simple layout to everything, and just seeing the cards versus like, do you prefer there to be more crystals around, or do you like to just look at the cards? I'd love your feedback. Comment down below, let me know how you feel about that if you want more, but I decided to go with a more simple kind of like layout for this reading. All right, we have the 2 of Wands in reverse, the Judgment, 9 of Wands, 5 of Pentacles, and the Knight of Pentacles. Okay. Wow, there's already a spiritual message coming through, and we're off to a great start because pile 1 just had so many amazing messages come through. So I'm super excited to see what messages are in store for you, group 2 for 2023, as it pertains to pregnancy and anything else that wants to come through. But we do have the 2 of Wands in reverse, and that really is the only card in reverse in this spread. Reverse doesn't necessarily mean like, you know, good versus bad or anything like that. It just kind of influences how I might read the card. So with the 2 of Wands, I feel as though you may be feeling in a place where you can't really plan. Like you want to plan for something, but like things haven't come into place for you to be able to plan. For you to be able to kind of see what's on the horizon. It's kind of like, how do I figure out what the next few years entail when I'm not even sure, you know, like what am I doing next month? Like, I don't know. So you may feel a little bit stuck right now. In some ways, I feel like this group may be feeling kind of like at a loss, or maybe just like you feel like you've kind of been hit with some bad luck. But also, and not even luck for all of you as much as just like having put so much time and energy into things that, you know, you're still waiting on results. You're still waiting on this process and this results. And this could, you know, this is most likely having to do with pregnancy, just because we're setting that intention for this particular reading. But it can also, you know, leak into other areas of our lives where we're like, I'm just so tired. Like I just want to see the results. I want to see the progress. And it's not so much that you haven't seen any progress, because we do have the 9 of Pentacles, and he's trudging along. He's, you know, on his path. He's taking his steps. He's taking the actions needed. But there may be aspects enough in your life that you're just feeling with the 9 of Wands and the 5 of Pentacles, like I'm kind of hitting a wall of energy where it's just like, okay, I've kind of used up a lot of energy, and where am I at, you know? And the 9 of Wands is about evaluation. I feel like this whole experience with the Judgment card, and this again is like kind of moving into 2023 and the current energy surrounding you. So it may not even necessarily be the entire year. In fact, I would say it probably isn't going to be the entire year, but this is really what you're needing to know right now as you're watching this video, wherever you're at in 2023, and these messages reach you. This is kind of pertaining to your kind of like immediate energy that's coming in. So we are seeing with Judgment this moment of recognition, realization, even like feeling relieved by a recognition, like feeling as though you recognize in some level or some way your higher purpose or a higher perspective of the situation. So at some deeper level, you maybe have exhausted yourself to where you've turned inward and you are, and maybe even that was the whole point, right? Like spirit always guides us through these trials in order for us to go deeper within and to continue to expand spiritually. And yeah, so I feel like this is a group that is spiritually expanding. You're also at a very practical level, like gaining new insights on what to do next. To me, with the Knight of Pentacles, it may even be that you just gain enough that you feel like you can trust how to move forward. But it doesn't come without some time for rest and reevaluation. So I would say for this group in 2023, there is going to be a time period of significance that the cards want to point out where you are going to be kind of like needing to take a time out, like to take that time to reflect on everything. But it's not the end. It's more like the final push for the manifestation to come through. So I'm not seeing directly pregnancy, but I do feel as though future plans are kind of put on hold for you until certain like things can, like ducks can get in a row, like for you, in order for you to actually feel like you can plan ahead. Now, I'm getting the message through this reading as well from looking at these cards that you actually should take this time to really start to evaluate and plan for the future, because it's almost as though like part of the process of like planning, putting it out there and seeing what you would like to happen in the year, like almost setting the intentions for the course of the year or for the rest of the year, wherever you're at in 2023 when these messages are reaching you, to start putting those plans like in writing. That is going to really help you to actually become more productive, or like to feel more structured about how you're going to move forward. So I think that could really benefit this group too. That message is coming through to kind of sit down, take a breath, and like actually plan out some things. And I think you may get some major insights by doing that as well. Like it may even be holding you back if you're like not wanting to think about the future. For some reason, I'm getting the message too that for some of you, like it's too hard to think about the future. And I could totally understand that, you know, if it pertains to trying to get pregnant and waiting on that and feeling like you can't plan your future until you can get pregnant, you know, like maybe that is the message for some of you, is like how you're feeling through, you know, during 2023 is like that feeling of like you can't plan because you haven't gotten pregnant yet. And like until you get that, it's hard to plan your future, or you may be worried about planning your future and then being disappointed that like it didn't go exactly as planned. But I do feel like it could be helpful for this group to actually put out those plans and to feel like you have a plan in place, but you're like flexible to that plan changing. So that wanted to come through, but I think that's it for the tarot card messages. I'm feeling like I should grab this oracle deck and start pulling from this. All right, let's see what we have for this deck. Whoop. We do have Good Fortune. Okay, that one flew out, but so did a lot of other ones. So I'm gonna keep shuffling a little bit more. Good Fortune, and wow, and I placed it right above Judgment, which when I created these oracle deck, the cards, and when I created this card, I was thinking about how lightning strikes like unexpectedly sometimes, and that's the energy of this Good Fortune card, is like it kind of hits you unexpectedly, but it's almost like exactly what you need comes into play for you, that provides these insights that allow you to kind of move forward and move ahead. We have Deconstruct. To me, this Deconstruct is kind of like the Two of Wands. To me, it's like you're breaking down what you're moving away from, you know, the things that you are maybe even just kind of like letting go of certain things from the past that didn't work out the way you wanted to, but using those past experiences as lessons to then make plans for the future and deconstructing that whole thing. Yeah, so denial did want to come out, and we have manifestation as well. I feel as though when we're facing certain denials, things that we're not wanting to think about, sometimes those gain more power when we do that, you know, when we do not face those things. And so the cards want you to know, hey, like if maybe even you're denying that you've checked out a little from planning, like maybe that's the case, or like maybe you have stopped taking certain actions in other areas of your life because you feel like you can't move forward and you're feeling stuck. There's some aspect of this that is wanting you to deconstruct those things, so you can actually release them. Now, I'm also seeing with manifestation and good fortune, I cannot deny, I cannot deny that this group is giving me pregnancy vibes at some point in 2023. You know, between good fortune coming out and manifestation at the same time, you know, also, to me, this deconstruction and working on this denial and everything will not prevent you, and it's not stopping you from reaching your ultimate manifestation. Now, 2023 seems to be a year for this group either way, where you're manifesting something big, good fortune is striking, and you're aligning with a manifestation. Now, because this reading is all about pregnancy, and we're seeing that as the manifestation in this reading, that leads me to believe that pregnancy is on the way for this group. So just putting that out there. I am linking as well above and below to other pregnancy readings that I've done, so you can actually gain even more messages and confirmations if you do need those, if you would like those as well. And I mentioned briefly at the beginning of the reading that if you're interested in an actual reading from me directly, personalized, I would link to those in the description box. So that's totally up to you, but I figure I'd put it out there since I feel like I never mention it. Like I never talk about it. So I figure maybe that is something somebody might want to know. Anyway, so we have step out of your comfort zone, and also a personal issue reaches resolution, right? So yeah, there's some kind of personal issue reaching a resolution in 2023. I want to say that right now you probably know what that is. You know, like that to me seems like the cards know you're going through this, and they want you to know, like, okay, it is reaching a resolution. Now, when I'm seeing step out of your comfort zone with North Node, the North Node is about what the destiny of this lifetime for you, or what you're moving towards in this lifetime. And it does have to do with like your purpose, what you're learning, what you are growing towards and moving towards in this lifetime. So in 2023, you may find yourself kind of working through some major North Node lessons. And if you're curious what your North Node is, you can look that up online. I believe you will need like your birthday and time and location to do that. But finding out what actual sign that's in can help you with this process of kind of like stepping out of your comfort zone. But I am kind of referring back to the denial with that, because there's aspects of ourselves that if we are denying those aspects, then we can become more controlled by them. So for me, like my North Node is in Aries and my South Node is in Libra. So in this lifetime, I'm learning to be a little more independent, and I'm learning to kind of break free from constantly trying to appease like everybody else around me, instead of stepping out of my comfort zone, which is like to do things on my own and to act maybe even more selfishly. Like, I don't know if there's probably a better word for that, but you know what I mean. To be a little more independent in that sense. So that could be different for everybody of what you're learning in this lifetime. And it feels as the cards like want you to know, hey, like this may be something you're working on in 2023, or that you're feeling right now and that you're kind of like hitting a wall with, where you're needing to deconstruct that and work a little bit more on that. Which this is interesting because I wasn't expecting this to have so many like bigger life lessons, but I guess these readings, but I guess, I mean, since we are doing a whole year's worth of messaging, it makes sense that maybe there's pregnancy, but then there's also these underlying things that we're also working on. And to me, it's all related. Like everything is interconnected, whether it's, you know, what we're manifesting in the physical or what we're dealing with at a mental or emotional level or the spiritual, like it all connects. All right, and we have luck is on your side. I mean, that totally relates to good fortune, right? Good luck, with new moon and Sagittarius manifestation. So I feel like luck, yeah, you're like striking, good fortune is striking for you in 2023. And I think you're going to be very happy with the manifestation that comes through because of that. So we're gonna keep going. We've got more oracle cards to go through. So let's give you guys some more messages about 2023. Let me know in the comments below if you are resonating with this reading. I would definitely love to know and have a chat with you. Perfect setting. This is totally giving me pregnancy vibes, you guys. To me, when I see the card perfect setting, it kind of tells me that things are all being lined up for you to have the perfect setting for your manifestation to come through. So to me, it's like you're resolving this personal issue. It's reaching a resolution. Luck is on your side. Good fortune is striking. And then comes the manifestation, right? So sometimes like for example, like for a seed to grow, you need the perfect setting. You need like the right soil, and you need the right water, the right amount of water and sunlight, and then it can begin to grow. And I feel like in 2023, the perfect setting is coming into play for you to then get pregnant, right? And maybe that is you finding the right partner for you, or the right circumstances in your life, and reaching that point in order for you to be pregnant. We have vulnerability next. And this may, I feel like this is acknowledging a feeling that many of you guys are feeling right now. Is like you may feel vulnerable, you may feel wiped out by some conflict, some, you know, issue that you're trying to overcome. Maybe you don't want to really face it right now, and it may be difficult to do. And the cards are just kind of saying like, yeah, this may feel like a vulnerable time, and you may be needing to face certain things that are difficult to do. So to me, that you know, whenever we're kind of faced with these things, there's typically something that we're learning from, we're growing from, and it's allowing us to then further align with our manifestation and create a perfect setting, you know. So we can't be our best selves if we're working through something like this, whatever that may be. You know, this can appear in so many different ways for so many different people. But sometimes we have to be vulnerable with ourselves, and that could mean, you know, facing those things that we're in denial of, which, you know, maybe you're not even like fully denying it as much as it's just like trying to distract ourselves from things we'd rather not, you know, think about and worry about. But sometimes, you know, sometimes our guides, sometimes the universe just like forces us to deal with them and to get through them. And then once we do, you know, we're better off for it. So infinite blessings. This group, wow. This group is so lucky. I wish I was getting this reading right now. Infinite blessings, you know, I mean, could it be any better? Good fortune, good luck, manifestation. You guys are really on the way towards a lot of positive, you know, receiving a lot of blessings from the universe. And I love this wintry scene. So this could be happening during the winter time. It could be this winter, it could be next winter. You know, however it plays out, I do want to kind of point that out because it did draw me in with the snow flurries kind of being showered on the town, these infinite blessings coming to you in 2023. All right, wow, let's finish up with some final oracle cards for some final messages. This one wanted to come through. We have union. You have seen and unseen allies. All right, so this could have to do with maybe a personal issue that you're resolving. Draw upon their strength, join forces with friends, and flourish. So this group may be connecting with somebody. I also am getting very much like union is pregnancy, right? Like union results in pregnancy. So there's a lot of signs here. There's a lot of signs pointing towards pregnancy for this group. Definitely keep me updated. Please come back and comment. I love when people come back and they're like, I am pregnant. I love that, so we can celebrate together. But yeah, I'm getting a lot of pointers, getting a lot of signs towards pregnancy for this group. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This is I will never stop like freaking out about these things. I'm sorry. All right, I know you guys are on the ends like, yes, more blessings, please. So you got it. All right, manifestation again. And I will read this card to you, but this says manifestation on it for the second time. Is that not like complete confirmation? Whew. All right, your dreams have untold energy. Open the door and let them live. Desire and belief are your power. I'm hearing from this card as well, group 2, that desire and belief. So there's, again, I'm going to be drawn back to saying, put your plans out there, like get them down on paper, maybe make a vision board for, if that resonates with you. You don't have to do that. I know it's not for everybody, the vision board thing, but you know, if you want to do that, you can do that. Or you can just like write it out, plan it out. I feel like just putting that belief out there, that desire into the universe is helping your manifestation. And you may be saying like, I've already been doing that so much, Celeste, like I don't want to do a vision board. Like, then you don't have to, because the energy is clearly in your favor. All right, let's pull one more card from group 2s. And while I'm shuffling, I do want to just say, you know, if these readings are resonating with you, please consider subscribing, because I will be doing ongoing monthly readings with pregnancy messages just like these. So I would love it if you would subscribe, join the family. I do other pregnant card readings, but I want to keep everybody up to date on pregnancy messages throughout the year. So I feel like that's helpful, and you guys are really loving that. So please consider hitting that subscribe button. Super simple to do. And yeah, let's finish up with this card. We have Mercy. Let compassion fill your world. Offer kindness to all living things. What you give, you also receive. Wow, okay. So there's a lot of like, I think we also had union, connections, vulnerability, mercy. I feel like I'm hearing with mercy, vulnerability, and a personal issue reaches resolution. I feel like there's some level where it's time to give yourself forgiveness, or even just like kind of giving yourself an out, or like a break, right? Like give yourself a break. And also, you know, if you've been harping on something or feeling like strongly about a situation that you wish wasn't happening, I feel like even the universe is kind of coming through and offering up like compassion. And this card is kind of speaking of receptivity to that, like feeling deserving of that compassion and receiving. You know, receiving is also kind of italicized here. What you give, you also receive. So if you're not allowing yourself mercy, you know, then it's, how can you offer that to the universe and to others, and how can you expect to receive that as well? So it's just important to give yourself that mercy that you deserve. And I think that will be very healing. You know, I think that's just kind of like this, the universe is like, hey, we love you. We want to give you a warm hug. We empathize with what you're going through. And we want you to be open to receiving that love and that mercy. So group 2, I hope you enjoyed this reading. I really enjoyed sharing these messages with you. I am linking below to my complete playlist all about pregnancy. I will link up above to another pick a card reading. I have other ones that are like 30 days. We get pregnant in 30 days, 7 days. So you can like check in on the energy a little sooner than the entire year. But that's gonna do it for this reading. I hope to see you back again soon, but bye for now. Hello, celestial beings who chose pile number 3. I have your pile right here with the rose quartz crystal. So we're gonna set your crystal aside so we can dive into the tarot cards first. All right, we have Strength in reverse, Page of Cups, the Knight of Swords, Ace of Wands, awesome, and the Nine of Pentacles. Okay. By the way, I've been kind of asking every pile, just curious to know if you guys like it better when you're just seeing the cards, or if you prefer to have like more decor around it, and what's your preference? I don't know. I always struggle with that. Like I go back and forth with what I'm putting out here. So yeah, what do you guys prefer? What do you like? So, okay. We're seeing Strength, Page of Cups. Strength is in reverse. Page of Cups, Knight of Swords is right at the center. The energy I'm kind of getting is that you may have really been kind of pushed to your limits. Really feeling like you've been putting the effort in. Really, with the strength of, when I see the Strength card in reverse, it usually means you're kind of coming out of a difficult time where you've really, like your strength's been tested. We have Page of Cups is kind of, and the Knight of Swords, it's kind of letting me know like you've been healing slowly. You've been nurturing yourself back to health, or back to a place of kind of peacefulness and inner love, inner alignment, kind of that energy of the Page of Cups. Is there's a lot of like simple kindnesses, trying to like take care, and I do feel like that energy is continuing forward. We're seeing that coming out of maybe this strength time. Usually, like when I'm seeing strength, it's kind of like you've found this new level of strength that you didn't know you had. Like you've been through something that tested your strength, and you now have like a new level of confidence in yourself, or a new level of like, I am stronger than I ever thought I was, and I can take on like anything, you know, like I could take on whatever is thrown my way, and I know I'm gonna come out okay on the other side of it, you know? So this shows a group that's like resilient and has been through a lot. And to me, seeing that, to me, this is something that maybe even like you're moving out of, but maybe you're currently facing this, and it could be that you are maybe even watching this, like whatever time throughout 2023 that you're watching this, you know, these messages kind of are when they're coming in, is when you need them. So to me, you could be kind of working through this energy right now, waiting for this energy to shift. And I'm kind of getting the message here is like, really just take care of yourself and be easy on yourself, and really focus on that kind of like next step, baby step healing process that may be needed. But also you might feel like, well, you know, because I've kind of put so much energy into that, and I've like put all my strength into this thing, or just into like my focus in my life, I need like a break from that. So that could be as well kind of where you're cycling into for this group. Now, what I am seeing is this growth that is happening. This seems to be a common theme as well, as kind of like in 2023, reaching new levels of growth. I'm almost getting the sense that like as a collective, and especially I know the celestial beings that watch my channel, you know, we're a community of energy beings kind of tapping into that. So I feel like maybe even as a collective on this channel, we're going through this like major growth period in 2023. And I do feel like this group as well is seeing fruition, seeing the results. And with the Nine of Pentacles is fertility. I think there's a lot of wish fulfillment in 2023 overall, which is kind of almost giving me the energy of 2023 in general. And yeah, I wasn't expecting to get these kind of like repeat messages as well. There's definitely very different readings for each of the groups, but an underlining message here is kind of like almost like getting through 2022 and having like weathered that storm, or it was almost like we had high expectations for 2022, but then the big results we were hoping to have manifested or achieved, especially for this reading, you know, as it relates to pregnancy, just did not kind of come through. So I would say I'm holding out on saying for sure that this is pregnancy, but Nine of Pentacles is a fertility card. Like, this is the pregnancy card. It's the Mother Earth card that really relates back to the Empress. So we will pull other cards for sure. I just want to make sure I get all the messages, because the Knight of Swords is showing this newfound confidence. I mean, this is rushing into something headlong, and this is kind of like gaining that momentum that maybe we've been struggling with. So wherever you're at in 2023, when you're watching this particular reading, you're about to shift into an energy of like a lot of momentum towards what you want. And that may have come after almost like a test, or like feeling maybe being in a weakened state from having gone through something, but coming out on top ultimately, and then gaining a better focus on what you're doing next, like, and going for it. I'm also hearing like intuitive impulses, like intuitive guidance that actually you almost like a risk being taken, but that is coming from your intuitive guidance. Like, you're not questioning it, you're just going for it. You're not letting any doubts in, you're just going for it and you're doing it. And this is coming from a very creative place. This combination, I can't get past this combination of the Ace of Wands being of creation and growth, and also the Nine of Pentacles, which is all about results, appreciating the finer things in life as well. But there is fertility in this reading already. So let us keep going. Let's see what the Nine of Pentacles is relating to, and see if we get any further confirmations on that. Joyful. Yeah, so this group is, and we did have guidance come out too, so we'll put in here. We have joyful and guidance. I feel like this guidance is coming from your intuition. I feel like you're being guided towards something, and rather than, you know, being hesitant, you're just going for it. So I feel like when the opportunity strikes for this group in 2023, you know, and by the way, I do want to, like, I always kind of say for these types of readings that are like for an entire year, this is the current energy that you're approaching in 2023. It doesn't necessarily mean like you're going to be stuck in this energy the whole time. So just keep that in mind. And if you do want like a monthly update on pregnancy messages, then you can always subscribe to my channel, because I will be doing monthly readings on pregnancy messages, which you guys have been really enjoying. So I definitely want to keep that going for these messages. Okay. We have joyful guidance, dream. This is the guidance is kind of coming from your higher self. That's why I'm seeing dream. There's a dream come true here too. A lot of positive energy, a lot of like dream fulfillment. And I'm surprised at how much pregnancy is coming through for these readings, but this group as well, I'm just seeing for this group, you know, pregnancy is coming through. Ooh, soulmates. There is a spiritual connection. This may even be a situation where maybe you don't know your partner for very long and you're pregnant, or, you know, you're ready to dive in, or even you may be currently in a relationship where you just know this is your soulmate and this is who you want to create a family with. But there's this like inner impulsivity of this reading, and it's all positive. Like, you know, it's not something bad where you're like making a bad mistake or anything like that, you know, from this reading at all. I'm just seeing this like being fully guided by what brings you joy, following your dreams, and being like guided towards your goal, very like intuitively guided. So you may not even have to like think about it too much, because you just see your goal and see how to get there. And again, this is, you know, most likely pregnancy for this reading, because we are, you know, we're setting that intention that this reading is all about pregnancy. Now this could be meeting your soulmate, who is the person that you are going to have a child with. You have worked through your fears. So I'm going to put that by the Strength card. There's work happening where you are we mentioned like a healing process of like step by step working through those fears and healing specifically. I feel like that is maybe a precursor to this like explosive energy towards what you want, towards your manifestation. So let's keep pulling some more cards. We're gonna pull a few more messages. What is my group 3? What does group 3 need to know? Am I missing anything? Is there a message I'm missing? Let's see what comes through. Let me know in the comments down below to, you know, which pile you have chosen. I'd love to have a chat with you guys. I always respond to comments. So don't let pride get in your way. Interesting. So what's coming through a little bit more that we haven't touched upon is this card, because we're seeing, so the Strength card is associated with Leo energy. And you could even see the figure is kind of almost like half lioness, or lion rather. And we have the lion in the full moon in Leo. So something is happening here. We're seeing don't let pride get in your way. You may be learning a lesson in the year 2023. There's a higher spiritual guidance here, because remember, like the tarot cards always tap into energy and the messages that we need to hear in order to expand and grow. So the message that's coming through for this group is about pride. I'm getting the sense like this is a reminder that you may be blocking yourself from your full strength if you are trying to be a perfectionist or trying to prove something, maybe trying to prove something to other people or doing something in order to appear a certain way, present yourself in a certain way that may be a little bit like dishonest or maybe not the truth of the situation. And it does take strength to be authentic, you know, and that doesn't mean that you have to like go around telling everybody your personal business in order to prove your strength, but maybe for yourself, you take that pressure off of yourself to try to present something in a certain way or prove something to everybody who maybe, you know, maybe that's not worth your time. Yeah, so there is a message here of letting go of your appearance, you know, maybe like outside perspective and outside judgment, or it could also be like feeling this need to help everybody. I feel like sometimes with pride, we feel like it's our duty to like pull everybody out of their own struggles, but only they can do that. There's also, I mean, we know that, but like it's hard. It's hard to not want to be like, hey, if you just do this one thing, like this will solve your problem that you're sharing. And unfortunately we can't do that for other people. I'm sure people want to do that for me too, you know, with anything that I'm struggling with. And it's like, we all just learn our lessons in the amount of time that we need to learn them in. And I know you guys know this already, but I feel like something to this reminder or, you know, like message related to this is coming through. You may even have kind of like a fear of giving into a situation for fear of like feeling unworthy, or feeling like if you were to give in to this fear or acknowledge it, like others would judge you, right? Or something like that. So we all have that circumstance. And I think in this case, the cards are just confirming for you, like, yes, like this is going to be a hard thing to work through. But I'm hearing very much this like kind of like baby steps energy of like coming from a place of your heart space, and forgiving, or even just like giving yourself that room to not be perfect, and giving yourself that like leeway, you know, that leeway to just kind of like be without having to prove anything. All right, let's see what else is coming through. This could be like with a specific person. We have balance, spirituality, and practicality. So I do feel like this is something that you guys are going to be experiencing. Yeah, I feel like experiencing a rise in your spiritual self, because remember I talked about intuition a lot. I feel like there's a guidance coming at a spiritual level for this group, where you're tuning into your intuitive self at an even deeper level for many of you. And there's gonna become like this balance between you having spiritual insights and then like putting them into practice. So that's another part of like 2023 and the energy surrounding you right now, is you're being guided towards like living from a space of balance in your spiritual and practical life. And this is coming from like this beautiful inner work that's being done, letting go, not taking things too seriously, as we all do, right? But this is maybe just like a lesson that you're getting to like work through and transmute into healing power in 2023 through this this whole process. Awesome. Okay, that's really exciting. We're gonna keep going with some more oracle cards and see what other messages are coming through for group 3. What else does group 3 need to know for 2023? I always like to ask kind of like, what am I missing? Is there anything? Oh, this one wants to come out. Peace. You're finding peace through these, through working through these fears. I'm getting a very angelic energy. I want to just keep going back to that. You know, we have soulmates. There's a spiritual energy that's coming in for this group that is guiding you. And I feel like you may even find yourself more connected to your angels, to your guides, receiving even more kind of energetic downloads. Peace, love. Wow. There's a lot of healing energy. I get the sense that you're awakening to your healing abilities as well, this group. So I do want to, you know, as far as pregnancy goes, this may not be pregnancy for all of you as far as like the result of the manifestation. It's not coming through quite as strongly as I would like to see it come through to like confirm for everybody, you know, for the majority of people watching the reading. But there's a lot of power coming from this group. Even this woman awakening, I feel like there's a spiritual awakening happening for this group in 2023. And I also want to mention too, I will link down below my complete playlist so you can watch any of those readings about pregnancy. So yeah, to get more confirmations for you specifically, so that could be helpful. But right now the cards really do want to focus in on this spiritual awakening that you're having that's actually guiding you towards your like soul path. I'm getting that sense of like really feeling like you're on your soul's mission in 2023. Okay, so I pulled one more card, actually an extra card for boundaries, to see what that is relating to. So there's closure. So I mentioned like you're having this opportunity to work through certain fears, and this is allowing you to build healthy boundaries. I also am hearing you're crossing the boundaries between worlds. because this card to me isn't just about like setting boundaries with other people. I also get the sense of her transcending the boundaries of the physical realm. And of course, because we have this spirituality and practicality energy being balanced and integrated with this infinity symbol too, I feel like you're transcending boundaries through love and peace. I mean, these are just such, and you know, each one has this awakening of the third eye. I mean, her third eye is opening here too. So, and yeah, there's just like this angelic energy coming from this pile, from this group. You're really connecting to that in 2023. You may find like you awaken to new abilities and new psychic abilities as well. I would love to, like, if you guys remember to come back, like, keep me updated on this. I'm really curious how this experience goes, and let me know. All right, we also have closure. So there's like this aspect of healing from this group and finally putting to rest some of these things that have been restricting you. Yeah, I'm also, you know, I'm just keep getting drawn back to that pride card because I feel like there's a message here that is coming through here further. I almost feel like there's a death of an ego to an extent too. I'm also getting the sense that you may be fearful of fully awakening to your gifts. Or embarrassed about them or something like that. And I feel like you're moving past that. You're actually gaining further confidence in them. And yeah, this could be actually related directly to your psychic gifts. So this is like a starseed light worker energy for this group. And I think you are waking up at a new level to this energy and this connection that you have. Wow. All right, we're gonna keep going. I do want to hear more about, oh, okay. We have culmination of a vision with dreams. Okay, let's see. We have culmination of a vision. Can we get any confirmation? Is this related to pregnancy? Let's see if there's any confirmations of that. As I mentioned too, though, you can check out, you know, some of the other pick a cards about pregnancy, see if that comes up and get your confirmation that way. I also link above to a video at the end of this reading too, so you can check out what I've linked in the cards. Okay. Seek beauty. Yeah, you know, with seek beauty, culmination of a vision, there's all about this vision and seeing the beauty of things. I feel like you're seeing life in a new elevated way. And the card seek beauty typically kind of, it represents seeing the beauty in the situation, no matter what it is. I feel like this group has such an angelic, like earth angel energy of seeing the world from that lens of like, you know, this is a beautiful outcome to a situation, or this is a beautiful life that I've created for myself. And we're seeing almost like your vision for yourself, like culminating. So you are gaining some outcomes and with the Nine of Pentacles too, I mentioned how this card does have to do with luxury. So to me, this is directly relating to kind of creating a outcome for yourself that is, and surrounding yourself with very beautiful things, and how healing that can be and how positive that can be. So you're almost like appreciating the beauty that is around you in 2023 and enjoying that, you know, and just being like fully like appreciative of that. Maybe that's like flowers and gardens, or, you know, other forms of nature. Maybe that is paintings that you love, or other things that you just love to look at and that bring you joy, clothing that you love to wear that feels so soft on your skin. And, you know, really almost like that Taurus energy is like appreciating the luxury of life and surrounding yourself with that. So I do feel like that is happening for this group, is kind of, you're being led to that. Okay. We have maintain your childlike spirit. Yeah, so I think this again, when we think of the childlike spirit, this again is when let love be your beacon. So we have love again. There's more healing being given by this group as far as like you're tapping into your healing abilities. This childlike spirit I mentioned, it's, to me, that's the same as like this angelic, you know, spirit, seeing the beauty of the world, also closing the door on some things that, you know, were no longer serving you, and just feeling like a child again, in the sense that you're just like appreciating life and appreciating everything. And this energy I do feel is going to be present throughout 2023 as you awaken like to your spirit, your inner guidance, your soul guidance that is essentially leading you towards your manifestations, what you want to bring into your life experience. Yeah, I would say that although Nine of Pentacles does represent fertility, I feel like in this case, in this reading, I'm not seeing a, you know, very much that being pregnancy, as much as it is a very spiritual experience that does result in a lot of beauty, of being surrounded by a lot of beauty that you are appreciating. And of course, let love be your beacon. I feel like you're being guided by your heart, you know, by your intuitive, emotional body that is like leading you towards joy, right? Leading you towards this joyful feeling, being guided by your joy, or like following your joy, right? Like that expression. I feel like this group is being led towards that. All right, we're gonna finish up with some final oracle cards for my group threes. So a lot of really beautiful energy. Wow, this is such a lovely reading. Okay, kindness, and look at that angel on this card. Wow. I've been talking about this angelic energy, kindness. There's such kindness for this group. And coming from this group, it says live with compassion, open your heart to all life forms, be an angel with hands. Oh my gosh. You know, I can feel the energy of this group. There is kindness being brought to you. There is love. Like the universe is just exuding this love. There's like this love energy surrounding you. It's very healing. And there's angels guiding you right now. Whether you consider them actual angels or light beings or just higher dimensional, you know, beings of light, they are guiding you. I feel that. You know, I've had my own personal experiences speaking with these types of light beings, interacting with them, because I'll be honest with you too, and I know that, you know, maybe I don't have to kind of like explain angels to everybody, but like for me, starting out on this path, I really had no actual connection to angels. It felt very much like a religious dogma, like, and I don't really assign myself to any one religion, but I'm not anti-religion. I'm all religions. But I never really felt like angels were, like, I didn't have that connection to angels. I didn't really know what I felt or believed about them until I actually did start getting contacted by them. And I realized it's not so much like this depiction of an angel is actually what they look like per se. They could appear that way to other people, I'm sure, but they're really just interdimensional beings of a higher level. They have a specific kind of energy when they come in, and it's very much like non-judgmental, not biased or anything, but really just this strong energy of this higher wisdom. And I feel like that is essentially, when I talk about angels, that's really, you know, how I see them. And yeah, they're powerful energy to have around you. We have friendship. Be with the ones who make you shine, who really love you and really care. Keep those and let the others go. I mean, this is totally soulmates, right? Like, this is totally the soulmate card coming through again, saying 2023 is bringing your soul family in for you. You know, you're awakening to this deeper level of awareness And then on top of that, you know, you're actually bringing in these deep friendships and connections that are really going to help you shine brighter. So this is super exciting. It all comes together, it all connects. Whenever I do these readings, I'm just like still blown away by how everything just connects and makes so much sense. We have sanctuary. Embrace the need for solitude. Your inner sanctuary calls you. Renew yourself and thrive. I do, although you know, like I said, I can't say for sure that there's pregnancy in this particular group, but I will say, like, 2023 is going to be a year for you of thriving, renewing yourself. You know, we mentioned, like, don't let, you know, pride get in your way, or working through fears and maybe self-doubt in some ways that we all, you know, we all face those from time to time, but I feel like you're seriously closing the door on some of these fears and allowing yourself to be renewed. And what's interesting too is, like, knowing when to find your sanctuary and knowing when you need to connect and wanting to connect and having those people there to support you. You're gonna have this really nice balance of all three, right? It's like there's sanctuary of solitude, there's the support of a higher power and of higher guidance, and then you have the friendship of people. This is the balance. Oh my gosh, this is the balancing of spirituality and practicality in these final cards. Oh my gosh, I could not have planned this more perfectly. And if you may hear a cat in the background, but that's okay, because we're wrapping up this reading. I will just once again remind you that there is a playlist to all of my pregnancy readings linked down in the description box. I'll also link above, as I mentioned, to one of my other pick a card readings all about pregnancy. If you want further confirmations, if you're looking for more messages, or if you want to know what's happening a month from now, 7 days from now. And don't forget to subscribe, because I will be doing monthly pick a card readings for you guys, all of them pregnancy readings. So I'll be doing January, February, etc. every month, along with all of my other pick a card readings too that I do. So if you enjoyed my reading and messages, please don't forget to subscribe, give this video a big thumbs up, and I hope to see you back again soon. But bye for now. Hello, celestial beings who chose pile number 4. I have your pile right here with the Chevron Amethyst. Oh, it's so cold, but there's like really good energy in this stone. All right, so we're going to set your crystal aside. I don't know why I'm getting a really good energy from this crystal right now. It's really like calming and cool to the touch. So yeah, all right, let's dive into your cards. We don't want to waste any time, right? All right, we're going to dive into your tarot cards first. So right away, we have 2 of Pentacles. I'm feeling so calm right now. This is interesting. Okay, 7 of Cups in reverse. The Hanged Man, the King of Pentacles, and the 3 of Pentacles. I'm hearing grounded, I'm hearing grounding. I'm also seeing kind of a shift in focus in 2023. I'm getting the message that many of you may be shifting your focus as to what you're seeing right now as what you want. And you're kind of reevaluating that. You're actually maybe rethinking what you want to put your time or your even money into, things like that. You may be reevaluating what you want to work on and what you want to work towards. So that's a possibility for this group. That's just a first message coming through. I also feel as though you're gaining a rhythm in 2023 and a way to kind of like maintain daily life. You're actually like getting into a rhythm that really aligns with you, that you're really happy with, and that makes you feel really powerful and purposeful and meaningful what you're doing. And it is even something you're really, really good at. So I do feel as to some extent, it's almost changing your perspective on either maybe getting pregnant. This could be a possibility. I also feel as though 7 of Cups being in reverse, you may be rethinking your dreams. You may be thinking your life goals. Kind of 7 of Cups is this like wishful thinking, coming up with all the opportunities and options and having a lot of options too. And the Hangman is just telling me you may go through a period of time. It may not be the entire year because energy is always changing. And of course it is hard to, you know, do one reading on an entire year's worth of energy, which is constantly changing and cycling. So just keep that in mind. But whenever you're watching this, you know, these messages are typically what you're needing to hear right now. So just take that into account. But yeah, I feel like you may be kind of like putting down all the options and just kind of going with something that you feel brings meaning to your life. And again, that could be having to do with something you're working on or creative, like creative work that you have been getting really positive results from and positive reactions from. And this also could be like just a time where you're focused on building your wealth. Building your resume maybe for some of you. And I feel like it is coming from a good place. So you're going to feel this sense of like, okay, like this is my big picture right now. This is where I want to, you know, put my day-to-day energy, and I'm just going to focus on that for now. And maybe these lofty goals, I'll get back to them as they, you know, appear to me or as they present themselves to me. That's kind of the energy I'm sensing initially from these cards. So let's keep going. We are going to pull some more oracle cards. Okay, we have rest. So I want to pull a card on rest as well, but I'm getting the sense like you're almost putting to rest, maybe even like putting to rest or putting on pause trying to get pregnant. Maybe this is something that you've been like considering, you're not sure, or something else kind of gets in the way for the time being, that you're just really wrapped up in it, you're enjoying it, you're focused on it. You may be like, I don't know, like, you know, like I might need some time, I need to put this on pause. So let's see what this rest has to do with weight. Okay, I mean, that's kind of confirming the message that is coming through. Always know that I will link to the complete playlist below of all my pregnancy readings. So if you're like, I'd rather, you know, this isn't, or I want more confirmation or understanding of this, you can always look at those. So we have, and I will also link above too to my other pregnancy picker card readings. Okay, and as I said too, like, you know, if you're being guided to wait, again, this isn't the energy that maybe is going to be throughout the entire year. But you may find yourself in this moment of waiting. That's kind of the current energy that I'm sensing. And the fact that that came out really does kind of confirm that for this energy of this group. We have surrender and synchronicities. So synchronicities are those like undeniable like coincidences that come up and bring us signs and bring us messages from the universe. And I think you're getting to a point where you're like, you know what, life is kind of pointing me in this direction. This could be like your own personal craft. It could be something you're just really talented at, or you're working at it and you're like, I just need another year of this, or like I just need a little more time. And you may say like, I'm just gonna put this on pause, I'm gonna wait to get pregnant, right? You might do that this year. And it's saying like things are just pointing you in that direction, and it's okay. Like it's not gonna hinder you, it's not gonna slow you down. It's just kind of how maybe this year plays out, or part of this year plays out. So just kind of trust in that process. And you may just kind of have to like surrender, because Hanged Man also, like the Hanged Man card is surrendering. And through surrendering, the Hanged Man tells us we gain a different perspective on the situation. We actually gain a higher perspective that actually makes things become clear. And you can see that in this card too, like in the artist's rendition of this one. Also, it's like, you can see she's not actually hanged as in like by the neck, she's upside down. So she's seen a complete 180 of the situation. And it's allowing her to actually awaken. So as you can see the light kind of coming from her forehead or her like third eye, where she's seeing the situation. She's actually uncovering these you know, symbols below, and those might even be runes or some kind of spiritual symbols. So it is a very spiritual surrender that is happening here. You're surrendering to your higher self. That's kind of showing you a different angle to the situation. So we're going to keep pulling some cards, see what other messages come through for my group 4s. What do you think of this layout? Do you like just seeing the cards? Do you wish there was more like happening? I'm curious what you guys would like to see. Do you like seeing more crystals? I just bounce back and forth between like the simplicity of just having the cards to look at versus like really decorating everything. What do you prefer? Comment down below because I would love to know your thoughts on that. But okay, we are, okay, here we go. Have faith in your dreams. I'm hearing that have faith in your dreams, the Cinderella song. Someday my, no, what am I talking about? That is Snow White. A dream is a wish your heart makes. That is the song. Have faith in your dreams and someday the dreams that you dream will come true. So for this group, I got it out eventually. Yeah, for this group, I feel like have faith in how this is playing out, right? Like you're being guided to wait in some way, shape, or form. And this is saying don't give up on your dreams. Have faith in the dreams that you have, and you know, trust in this process. We have the answers you need are coming. We're gonna pull another card. So the answers may come to you as synchronicities. Like you may just notice, wow, like this is what I need to be doing. So I think there's a level of trust whenever we surrender to the situation at hand, right? A time for healing. So this group is also in need of healing, and we did have rest. We did have rest, and we did have wait. So in this time of resting and waiting, there may be needed a time for healing, but not losing hope, not losing faith in your dreams. Okay, so that's a strong reminder too, is as you're healing from maybe not, you know, maybe this is bringing you, maybe you put yourself into your work because pregnancy isn't happening right away, or because like this isn't a time for pregnancy. So you put more passion into your work. And although that may not be 100% what you were dreaming for this time period, for the time being, it's still going to be a very healing time for you and a positive result. You know, there's still going to be results and fulfillment that you're getting from this alternative path or temporary path that you're taking for the time being. Yeah, so let's keep going. We do have more oracle cards to pull, so I want to make sure I get all the messages for my group 4s. What other messages? Strength. All right. This group is persevering and overcoming, maybe even a feeling of, yeah, we have prosperity and clarity. This group may be overcoming even a feeling of just like defeat in some ways and having to overcome that. Now, we're seeing prosperity. I mentioned kind of increasing your wealth in 2023. I feel like that is coming through for you guys. You may be, again, surrendering provide you with this sense of clarity, you know, where you're just like, okay, you know what, this is what I'm doing currently, so I'm going to wholeheartedly, you know, embrace it. And there is prosperity in this, as well as the answers you need are coming. So there's some clarities that have been put on hold where you're unsure of something, you're not sure of something coming through for you, or you're not sure of what to do next, or something like that. There's clarity being offered and answers being given. So it's just a matter of time for you to receive those answers. And in the meantime, you may find yourself just kind of like waiting for them to come in as you kind of maintain your rhythm. Okay, yeah, let's keep going. So making money in 2023, that's pretty sweet. All right, we also have gratitude and appreciation. On top of just like feeling appreciation for what you're working on and doing, I talked about fulfillment. I also feel like people are appreciating you and what you're bringing to the table. That is the Three of Pentacles as well. Other people appreciating and commending you for what you're doing. So I feel like you will feel appreciated, as well as appreciating the work that you're doing and the positive effect that you're having on others. We have intuition. Interesting. So this group is gaining clarity, maybe even through some intuitive knowing. I feel like too, there's a message here of like trusting your intuition and not doubting it right away. You know, if you get like an intuitive thought, try to hold on to it as long as you can without overthinking or over processing it. More often than not, our first initial instinct is our intuition, and then our mind like steps in and tries to kind of like logically either add fears in there or doubts on something. But here we have, you know, have faith in your dreams. The answers are coming in for you. And then lastly, a time for healing. So I feel like this is a time to just kind of like give yourself that time to just listen to your inner guidance and what you need right now. The synchronicities as well, very much tapped and aligning with intuition, because usually when a synchronicity happens, for example, like the repeating numbers, we see that a lot in like the spiritual community. It's like seeing angel numbers and just being like seeing them so often that you just can't deny it anymore. Is also a major thing. So for you, it may be that you're practicing recognizing the synchronicities and like trusting them and not questioning that is your like intuition talking to you through your experience. So keep that in mind. And lastly, we have you are worth it. So soak up that appreciation. You know, just lean into feeling grateful for the prosperity, for the successes. I do feel like success is a strong part of 2023 for this group. It could mean success at work, success on a project or your own business maybe that you're starting or working on. You're building a foundation. The King of Pentacles, he very much, I mentioned this peaceful energy with this group, and I see that in grounding. You're at peace. Through this surrender, you're regaining peace and comfort. And I feel like that is where you're headed in 2023, is this place where you're like, I'm very happy with my day-to-day. I'm very happy with, you know, what I'm working towards, and I find fulfillment in that. That's like kind of what I'm hearing from this reading. And you're at peace with that as well. All right, we're gonna keep going. We have some final oracle cards for my group of fours. All right, what do we have? Integrity. Drop the things that offend your soul. Embrace your truth. It's your life. Let no one live it for you. So this group may be wanting to pursue certain dreams and not wanting to, I mean, maybe you're struggling with the idea of pregnancy too. This may not be all of you, but like a message is coming through that maybe you're not ready for pregnancy yet because you don't want to give up what you are working on and building. And for you, maybe your intuition is telling not to put a pause on what you're working on just yet and to pursue that too, you know? So that could be what your intuition is telling you. You are also worth having and wanting and you know, striving for your own personal dreams and however those look for you. And maybe you want both still, you know, maybe you honestly do, you want both at the same time, but right now, you know, you're kind of being forced to wait on pregnancy, and that's okay too. Yeah, so I feel like this integrity card is really pointing to stopping yeah, dropping and putting down things that are overwhelming you right now, and just focusing and embracing or surrendering to the things that really ignite your soul and feel like your inner truth are guiding you towards that. So living for your own inner truth. Humor, we have laugh at yourself, light in your heart, let nothing steal your happiness. So you're worth it. You're deserving of this happy, prosperous time. And everything, you know, everything will happen as it is needed. Don't give up on your dreams. You are a dreamer for sure. So we have your dreams have chosen you. Find fulfillment in pursuing your destiny. This is the magic of life. So your destiny is very much a part of 2023. And know that wherever you're at right now, that is where you are meant to be. And you are pursuing your destiny. Don't have faith in your dreams. Don't give up on those. Because I do feel like maybe you have, we talked before about the Seven of Cups, you know, being in reverse and putting those kind of options on pause, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're giving up on them completely. You know, it says wait, but that doesn't mean you're not ever going back to these big lofty dreams that you have. And the cards want to say, like, go for it. Like, we are excited for you. Like, go for your dreams. All right, let's pull one more card, see what comes out. Faith. Have faith in your dreams. It says, believe you are not alone. Spirit is right beside you. Ask for guidance and it will come. If you're not really sure like what these synchronicities are and you're like, what is she talking about? Ask for some guidance. Ask for some obvious synchronicities to come through, and then trust and believe that you're not alone. You know, when they show up for you, don't doubt it. Just go with it. You'll be surprised because it's like when you trust in it and you believe in it, you open the doorway to like receiving more. You start to gain more messages. You start to hear more undeniable messages where you're like, okay, how did I know that? Or what are the chances of that happening? You know, with my own abilities too, like I would question things that came to mind or came in for me, which I mean, we all still do that. I feel like as psychics too, like it's very easy to like question our abilities, but like the more I would just trust and go with it, the more people would like the more amazing like messages that would come through, where it was like, how did I even know that, you know? And I could have very easily like just ignored it and thought it was just fake. But the more I've shared and kind of embraced my truth or the truths that were coming through me, the easier and the better like my readings were, or the more amazing like magical things that happen. So I feel like this group is opening up like to the magic of life in 2023, and I think it's guiding you towards your destiny of, you know, that pursuing these successful and prosperous endeavors. Okay, group 4, wow, you know, thank you so much for joining me for this reading. I know pregnancy was not really coming through. As I always say, remember, energy is constantly changing. I will do these readings monthly, so you can always check in with me on a month-to-month basis. Make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, you know, so you know whenever I upload these videos. I will be doing one for January, of course, so stay tuned for that. Also, keep in mind that this isn't the entire year per se, just because energy can change, you know, and it's hard to cover an entire year for one reading. So please don't be discouraged if, you know, pregnancy doesn't come out glaringly for one of these types of readings. These are the messages that needed to come through and that I hope were helpful to you. But I will link below, as I mentioned, to my complete playlist, and up above to another pick a card reading you can check out for even more messages. Comment down below. Let me know if there was anything that did resonate that you found helpful or interesting about this reading. I'm so grateful that I know you guys have a lot of other readings or videos in general to be watching right now. So I'm so grateful that you are watching my channel. But that's going to do it for this reading. I hope to see you back again soon. But bye for now.